Good morning. Well, welcome to the Toolshed. We are so glad you're here. Toolshed brought to you by Schedule Engine and our very good friends at Emerson, proud manufacturer of the Copeland for almost 100 years. If you haven't checked out Emerson, check them out, man. They are not your daddy's component manufacturer. They've got a lot of cool stuff. We're going to talk about them later. But listen, we're glad you're here, and we're going to jump right in. Today, we are going to be talking about a little something of we like to call Marlin's Law. So we'll get to that. But
I met Marlin recently. He's a stand-up guy. Hey, today though, we're going to talk about like what Toolshed's about, and what it's about is spring training. You know, all the professional sports, they all do spring training. Like baseball, professional baseball just started, and they had spring training. College football just finished spring training. I just watched the Clemson game.
Go Tigers.
And it was the orange versus the white, and we always win that game, right? And then, you know, the NFL in August, they'll have a training camp. And so that's no different. We're just trying to tune you up right before the summer. Harvest season is on its way, and we want you to have the best summer ever.
Love it, man. Well, I'm just pumped that you're taking the time. We're going to spend about 10, 15 minutes a day. And here's what I love. It's hundreds of people just like you, people that have been in the trades for a long time, that are just interested in getting a little bit better and making their job just that little bit easier, picking up little things so that as they go, life gets easy. And, you know, maybe we'll learn something we can use outside of work as we go. But, yeah, it's for the trades.
By the trades.
Right on. So, we'll talk a little bit about Marlin's Law, but it's Monday, Jerry. You know what Monday means?
Monday memes.
All right. So we're just coming off the Easter weekend, and it reminded me, somebody sent me this meme, if we were all with our families, or maybe our wife's family yesterday, being safe, I'm sure. Why don't we go ahead and pop up this first one, because this one's for the tool lovers. I'm going to give them a second to read it, because, you know, words.
Dog lovers.
I love it. Listen, somewhere, there's someone yelling in a truck that Ryobi's a good tool. And then, no shade. Listen, I remember my first tools too. It was cool. All right. We're probably going to get a Facebook post about that, but that's all right. You know, my buddy Adam Blau, worked with him for a number of years. A great HVAC technician. He sent me this next one, and. If you think it's expensive to use a professional, you should try someone cheap. That's we're going to talk a lot about like going in behind people, fixing stuff. So shout out to Adam for that one. And just in case the plumbers are starting to feel left out, don't worry, we have a little something for you. Let's see this other one.
You know, I love plumbers. Like I have tons of friends that are plumbers.
Listen, man. Some of my best friends are plumbers, and they probably all want to grow up to be HVAC guys too. Just kidding.
That's
just
not
kidding.
true.
And listen, electricians, we'll figure something out for you next week. If you've got something funny, keep it clean. Drop it in our Facebook page, ST Toolshed. Go ahead and join the group and join the conversation. So. Hopefully there's someone at a gas station rolling on the floor laughing, because I thought those were funny. Anyway, Jerry.
That's all that really matters. As long as you think they're funny, that everybody else is okay with that.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be recognized. Jerry, let's talk about the Toolshed a little bit. And why are you here? Like, I know why I'm here. Why are you here? Why are you?
Well, really, you know, it's interesting that at some point, you have to decide, is it just a job or is it a career?
Right.
And when you make that decision that it's going to be a career, and maybe you've been an HVAC technician for a couple of years, or maybe you were like an apprentice plumber or electrician and you've really put in the time. When you decide it's going to be a career, then things change. And you stop like looking for the problems and you start trying to get better.
Right on.
And you don't get bitter, you get better. And you know, and for you middle school and high school kids that are watching, like we can let you in on the secret.
Tell them.
And the secret is the trades are really, really cool. You can get into them early in life. You can stay in that career for a long time. It's not recession-proof, but it's recession-resistant.
Amen.
And you can find a good company. You may start your own company, and all that's really, really cool. You can provide for your family. You can make a great living, and you can be a positive force for your local community. And if we can elevate technicians and we can elevate the trades, we all win, and we all win. And because of Schedule Engine and the fine folks at Emerson, we're able to give back to the community that's given so much to you and I.
I love it. I didn't realize I was going to have church 2 days in a row, but that was pretty
Okay,
good.
good. We got an Air 5.
Air 5.
We're
All
7 feet apart,
Hey,
by the
listen,
way.
Speaking of students, I know Tony Trapp and his students at Tri-Valley will be watching. If you know a Votech student or school you used to go to one, go ahead, send them a link, get them involved. Let's get everybody in the trades. Remember, no one's coming to rescue us. It's up to us. The trades is going to be what we make it. So here's why I'm pumped to be spending some time here. First off, I'm not that smart. Stop. Don't argue with me. I'm just not that smart. But I've been around some super smart people, and I remember coming up through the trades. I just feel very, very fortunate to have been in. You know that saying, never be the smartest person in a room.
Right.
Let's just say that's never been a problem for me.
Okay.
All right? I like to think of it as I was lucky, not dumb, right? Like there's a ton of people I've worked with, but I've seen it done a number of different ways. And here's one thing. I was hanging out with a couple of technicians, and they were talking about call, as they do, and they were talking. Somebody had to go back, and the one tech said, "Hey, who's going back?" And they named someone, and they both started nodding, and the other guy's like, "Oh yeah, really good." Wouldn't want them at my mother's house, but that's really good. What is that, right? Like, what is that about? And that was almost 20 years ago, Jerry. I still remember it, because here's the deal. There's two ways to do everything in life. There's two ways to be a dad. There's two ways to be, a significant other. There's two ways to be a technician, right? And so contrast that. Like, I've been fortunate. I've been able to work with a team of people over at Haller Enterprises the last 15 years, and just an incredible group of people. And so you had that one story. You contrast that the time I had with the Haller team. We were doing something like this. We're talking about different ways to take care of the customer, and how do you, we're going to do what we're going to do here. We talk about the difficult calls, right? You don't need help for the easy ones. So we're talking about the difficult calls, and we're saying the way we like to do it is we like to ask the group, right? Like,
Sure.
You've been doing this a long time, and by the way, you guys can jump on our Facebook group and ask tough questions, but you can answer those tough questions. And if we get a really good one, we're going to invite you.
We're going to bring you on.
You just have to have a beard and an accent, apparently. That's, never mind. All right, but we were in a room, and we were asking. We're like, okay, so we'll all say this, and everyone's nodding. And then, Jerry, right at the back, I see a hand go up, and I'm like, yeah? And the person's like, I have a question. Like, there's all different kinds of people in the room, and this person was waiting his turn. I called him, and he said, I have a question. I said, what is it? He goes, what if what you just told us to say isn't true? And I realized, man, wow, there's two ways to do everything. And at that moment, we came up with something. That man's name was Marlin. That was about 12 years ago. And ever since then, Marlin's law is in effect. Because what we're going to talk about is, it sounds kind of obvious, right? We're going to talk about the best way to handle difficult situations is to just tell the truth. You're going to get a lot of truth, and sometimes that can be inconvenient, right? Like,
Sure.
Sometimes we have to get a little correction, attitude correction, as my wife likes to tell. Just kidding, love you. But no, we need to be able to have difficult conversation. The worst thing that do you know what techs are afraid of more than spiders and tigers and bears and everything else? Do you know what it is?
Not knowing the answer to something.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's probably a close second. The number one thing, I think, is when they get called the S word, a salesman. You know how you avoid being a salesman? Just tell the truth. See, we're not responsible for anything we find, but we are responsible for the information we share. So today we're going to talk about that. So
let's practice.
Okay, let's practice.
You guys can just watch. This is kind of how it would go with a homeowner, and I'll play the homeowner.
Okay, I'll
if
be
you want
tech.
to play the technician.
Yep.
And so Eddie, hey, thanks for coming out. You guys were just here like 3 days ago, and my air conditioner was running. One of your guys from your company, he did some work on it, and now 3 days later you're back out here, and I'm not real happy about that.
Okay, Mr. Smith, first off, I'm sorry that happened to you. I can't say exactly what happened when I wasn't here, because if I did, I'd just be guessing. I'll look into that. But in the meantime, would you like to know what I found, what caused it, and the cost of getting it taken care of so we can move forward? If you do, I can get you taken care of today. I have all the parts on the truck. I just need you to go ahead and authorize my work.
I mean, was the guy new, or he didn't have experience, or like was he just guessing? Could you take a guess on like what he was doing?
You know, I would actually love to guess, Mr. Smith, because I'd like to help you out. But unfortunately, if I did, it would be just that, a guess, and I don't think you want me guessing. Now, the good news is I do have the information to get you up and taken care of. And just so you can see, I'm going to take some notes, and I will mention it in the office. If we find out, we'll let you know. Do you want me to go ahead and get started?
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. You can't really overcome that, but listen, we got this idea from a friend of ours that's a technician. James sent this in and said, hey, well, let's talk about the difficult situations, and we want you to send us your difficult conversations that you're having with customers, the things that you hear all the time that you just don't know how to overcome. We'll help you with that. Between the two of us, we've heard that a few times.
Yeah.
So send us your difficult conversations. We're going to both be on Facebook this afternoon, you can contact us.
So here's the thing. Customers, they don't know what you know, and when they say stuff like that, they're not being mean.
No.
Like, if they hadn't worked in around, thousands of calls, they'd probably think things were connected too. And sometimes, that's why we need to validate them. We need to let them know, like, hey, I get it, right? I get it. But then we just need to tell the truth. Now, the tough part for technicians is they're pretty smart. So they can make a guess and it might be 90%, 95% right, but it's just a guess. And it's those guesses that get us in trouble. Because that time you start trying to be helpful and go, well, maybe, who was it? And oh, okay. And
maybe he was having a bad day.
Yeah. Or you just start guessing, and all of a sudden you hear that click. That click is the landmine under your foot that is going to explode under your service manager's desk. Don't guess. Stick to the facts. Make the customer feel okay. But it's sort of like you got to.
It's like that time when you say something, and as soon as you say it, you wish you could like reel that back in, but you can't get it back.
That's right.
And so don't guess. And so like a good friend of mine that was a technician, David, said it's like being a good doctor. The doctor doesn't guess.
Love it. No, I don't.
I don't want to go to that doctor.
What do you call that guy? That's the guy that graduated last in medical school, right? Yeah. Now, when we go when we take our loved ones for care, we want our home care. We want the good doctor. And so today, here's your task. It's every day we're going to give you something to go ahead and try for yourself. And today, your task, it sounds easy, but it's to be a good doctor. In other words, you go in, you look at everything, you share that information 100%, regardless of whether you feel like comfortable or not. Your job, they're calling a professional, not a hack. So go ahead, keep your eyes and ears open, be a professional today. Be the good doctor, whether you're running 1 call or 4 calls. Your challenge today, be a good doctor. If you do that and you have a question about what if, go ahead, hit us up on Facebook. Like Jerry says, we'll be there. We'll walk you through it.
You can go to YouTube, SE Toolshed, SE Toolshed. Join that. Be sure to subscribe. We're influencers, and we want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Maybe together, between us, we could influence something. I influence my coffee decision. That's about it. But listen, let's. What are we going to talk about? Let's wrap it up. Let's get them up.
Yeah, so we have 4 principles. 4 principles. The first one's Marlin's Law. Thank you, Marlin. The second one, and we're going to talk about tomorrow, systems thinking. You got to have a system. If you have a system, great. If you don't have a system, we're going to give you one. But you got to have a plan. The third thing we're going to talk about is sharing information. We're going to share information with you. We want you to share information with us. We're going to share information with the customer. And lastly, we're going to let the customer choose. And that's our 4th principle, and we're going to roll that out this week. And so we're super excited, super glad you joined us at the Toolshed today.
That's it. Hey, we crushed our first show. I mean, maybe we're done. That's it. 15 minutes. Okay, let's say goodbye. Hey, Jerry and I will be out and about, and join us tomorrow. Hundreds of people just like you, and we're gonna learn. Jerry, what do you always say?
Hey, be good out there so you can do good.
I'll see you out there. Thanks.